We've seen numbers as low as 15,000 or 16,000 and as high as 63,000, so we're well on our way to 70,000. We could easily go up another 4 or 5x from here, in my opinion. With that, we would reach 250,000. And that number might reach 500,000, and if I had to choose one time and place to make this happen, it would be before the end of 2025. Therefore, it may continue until 2026. In my opinion, the next 18 months have the potential to be really phenomenal. Potentially 4 to 8 times the return from our current position might be quite impressive. The bull market is to blame for that. In his most recent videos, famous mathematician and businessman Fred Krueger has shared his most recent forecast on the macroeconomy and Bitcoin. Krueger remains bullish on Bitcoin despite its recent volatility. He estimates that Bitcoin's value might rise 4 to 5 times from its present level, hitting $250,000 to $500,000. The following 18 months could see substantial advances, according to him, and this huge spike could happen by the end of 2025. Krueger talks about the effects of monetary policy and government spending on the value of money and valuables like gold. While he does recognize the value of gold and Bitcoin as protections against economic volatility, he has stated his preference for Bitcoin. Now let's watch Fred Krueger as he gives us his most recent forecasts and analysis. Now tell me something else that's making me really bullish. Now let's talk about the ETFs, shall we? As a result, I believe that the fact that we are in a bull market and that ETFs are just now beginning to have an impact are both contributing factors. Yesterday we witnessed GBTC's first ever positive inflow day. I've mentioned before that I believe the ETFs will be a good investment whenever we return. I would guess something like 70,000. The flows will be back in no time. When the market is unstable, I don't think these folks will participate. However, when things look good, they will return. When added to the bullish mood already present in the market from sources other than ETFs, it acts like a turbo booster. Part 2 is that, as for the third point, I'd like to make it clear that our current fiscal situation is the most reckless it has ever been. James Lavish has done an excellent job of documenting this. It has been recorded by Larry Lepard, it has been brought up by Lynn Alden, nonetheless. We are unquestionably in this. In this case, I would suggest that fiat is nearing its endgame. We are printing at an unprecedented rate, people here are completely bonkers, like Stephanie Kelton, who believes we should be able to print and purchase anything we want. Furthermore, that will not affect inflation anyway. To illustrate how wonderful it is when we just go out and spend, she gives the example of WWWII. About the war effort similar to drunken sailors. She has shifted her focus to combating climate change and the Green New Deal. Therefore, in my opinion, this line of thinking is completely incorrect. The impact on capital is devastating. Therefore, I believe that Bitcoin will do exceptionally well over the next 2 years due to the fact that people simply do not appear to care about deficits. First of all, I believe an election is coming up, and I think whoever wins this election is going to blow their winnings like a light bulb. Interest rates will be slashed like crazy if Trump is elected. Regardless, I believe Bitcoin will be a desirable asset for many. I believe this sets us up for a fantastic 18 months. Quite optimistic. However, you cannot participate unless you physically attend. Even a single disembarkation will cause you to exit this train. You won't be able to participate if you're scared to stay in your seat. So, having diamond hands and being totally invested are the two things I would suggest. Expert in personal finance Robert Kiyosaki claims that, but Kiyosaki has recently voiced worries about possible financial difficulties in the future in 2024. Attention, a potential crash comparable to 2008 is imminent. Instead, he suggests spreading your money around among a variety of assets such as Bitcoin, silver, and gold. In the last 53 years, the value of gold has increased by more than 6,000%, and that of silver by more than 1,600%. The value of Bitcoin has increased dramatically since its launch in 2009, despite the fact that it is somewhat unpredictable. Starting at $0 a coin, its value skyrocketed to about $69,000 in 2021 and is now hovering around $60,000 a coin. Let's return to Fred Krueger and his insightful commentary. The type of gold bug that is Swiss. For the most part, I agree with his position. It seems to me that after COVID, there was a huge spending spree in which we spent money as if we were at war, even though we aren't. Additionally, production costs are expected to rise. Compared to the previous decade, the global economy will perform worse in the following one. A lot more money will be required to cover everything. Additionally, governments will continue to print money in an effort to address this issue. What Zuloff is saying, and I couldn't agree with him more, is that nobody seems to notice that the value of gold has increased by 87% in the previous 20 years, or more accurately, that the value of fiat currency has decreased by 87% specifically. The value of the dollar relative to gold in 1922, 2002. Personally, I can attest to the veracity of that statement because I have held gold for that whole time frame. From $250 to $270 to its current value, we've come a long way, haven't we? Our growth in those 12 years has been nearly exponential. Therefore, it's safe to say that the debasement of fiat currency is mostly responsible for the SP 500's growth and appreciation. It's not like we're sitting on a gold mine with our economy and everything. Here we have a stock market that is based entirely on money. Since its inception 20 years ago, the stock market has been and will remain a purely monetary phenomenon. This is actually how the government is currently paying its obligations. They are able to inflate in nominal terms, which allows them to collect taxes in nominal terms whenever somebody sells a house or stocks. This means that, over the long run, they're making 30 to 50% of the system's total activity. Therefore, the position is precarious. It will most certainly fall sometime in the next 10 years. Am I in a downward spiral? A death spiral is one way to describe it. We are probably nearing the end now, but there will be a major event in the next decade, I guarantee it. Furthermore, Zuloff is completely bewildered by Bitcoin. He loves gold. I already mentioned that he is too elderly and Swiss to understand Bitcoin. I'm not Swiss, but I am getting on in years. Thus, I am more of a nerd and I finally understand Bitcoin. The main points of today's crypto news have been covered. Keep checking back for more cryptocurrency news, analysis, and perspectives. Put your 2 cents in the box below. Please subscribe to our channel and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it.